Good afternoon, members of the media. I'm Teresa Ewers. I'm the Marketing and PR Director for New Mexico Comic Expo, and we're happy to have you today to hear a few people talk, and we're actually going to start with our own Harvey. I love that. I was expecting you to come as Two-Face.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid the Two-Face era.
I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the mayor, Tim Keller.
I'm glad you picked up on it. All right, thanks, packed audience in the Kiva. Of course, we're here for a lot of things, but as of course, a subtle nod to my belief in the power of comics, I wanted to rock the Harvey Dent button, which for some reason people say I look like Harvey Dent, which I take as a great compliment, actually. And I know I mostly don't have a goatee, so if anyone is from here, it looks a lot better when I'm clean shaven. And so anyway, I want to share a couple of things. First off, I went to Comic-Con last year, and this was something that was here in Albuquerque, the local version of it. And it was something that's very special. I know folks in our community go even to San Diego, and there's always this vision, always this idea that we need to have our own comic expo. And so we talked about this a little bit last year, and I'm so glad to see it coming to fruition. And so this is officially our first New Mexico Comic Expo that we plan on doing each and every year going forward. And so this is going to be a great way to have our own interaction with all of the stories and all of the heroes and of the villains that we love. So this plays, I think, an important part in the fabric of our city in a couple of different ways. Number one, for non-fans out there, just to remember, like almost every major movie that is popular actually comes from a comic book. So just to reference the source material, most folks know that who, of course, would go to something like this. But this is, in many ways, when you think of comics and the associated industry that has come out of it, be it movie industry or otherwise TV, this, in a way, for America especially, and I think all over the world, is the modern version of how we not only tell our own stories, but it's also how we deal with complex issues that we maybe are afraid to deal with or can't deal with in reality. It's also a way for us to find role models when perhaps there aren't enough role models in our own community. So I do think comics play a very, very important role in our society. Also, it's an important piece of the creative economy locally, and that's something we really want to showcase as well. We know we actually have many homegrown local comics, comic designers and drawers and writers in a lot of different ways. And so this ongoing expo is going to be to celebrate our own contribution to that global discussion through all things comic. Now, there's also a lot of things that come together here, including all of our A-list celebrities that we get to interact with too, including some that are here with us today. But from Jason Momoa to Elijah Wood, to John Bernthal, to Tom Felton, Jason Isaacs, and of course Sean Gunn, and more. We welcome a lot of great folks that are going to spend some time right here with Everyday Burqueños. And as I like to remind people too, for me, this has been my best Halloween costume, is just to put on a Harvey Dent button, so I'm just going to keep going with it. And we're going to hope that there's never a Halloween costume that's Two-Face. So with that, we are going to recognize, by executive order, New Mexico Comic Expo Day. And so on behalf of the city of Albuquerque, Matthew Trujillo, to our founder, I want to present you with this executive order celebrating this New Mexico's Comic Expo. Congratulations. All right, I think we're good.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll introduce Synthia.
You're talking.
So, next up is our Director of Economic Development, this is part of all things that we try and do. Sometimes it's like yesterday when it's major corporations were welcoming jobs. Other times it's celebrating arts and culture, and in particular, our Film and Creative Economy Office, which she oversees. our Director of Economic Development at the City of Albuquerque, Synthia Jaramillo.
Thank you, Mayor, and this is quite the audience. Well, as the Mayor said, we are excited to be the host city for New Mexico's new comic convention. We are as excited as the fans are that top-tier creators, and like the Mayor said, A-list celebrities will be right here in Albuquerque. Now, event organizers tell us that they expect 15 to 20,000 attendees, now mostly from Albuquerque, but also attendees from throughout the state. We do expect to see some of out-of-state visitors and are excited to see the convention center and are particularly excited that downtown will be busy with fans this weekend. Now, as the Mayor alluded to, we are a city that is familiar with celebrity sightings, and we often see Albuquerque on the big screen because Albuquerque is a film and TV production hub and has been for many years. And I do have the privilege of overseeing the Albuquerque Film Office, and I would like to acknowledge and recognize our film liaison, Amber Dodson, who many of you work with. Now, we have seen films like Avengers, Thor, and Logan choose Albuquerque as their film location, and we are looking at a very bright future for the film industry in Albuquerque and throughout New Mexico. Many comic stories are being made into TV shows by Netflix, and I hear people in the office and all around the city talking about them often. Now, some of you know that Netflix now has a home in Albuquerque, and we are excited to see that shows and films may come out of the studios right here in Albuquerque. For superfans visiting during your stay, you can take Albuquerque film location tours, which includes the Albuquerque Netflix studios, to many of these film locations with our friends at New Mexico Film Tours. And the Mayor talked about our entrepreneurial strategy and our economic development strategy. So Albuquerque has no shortage of that entrepreneurial spirit. Our community has a keen way of identifying needs and developing solutions to meet those needs, from solving national security issues to developing technology that can revolutionize the film industry. Albuquerque is home to many of the brightest and most creative minds in the nation, and that is something we are extremely proud of. To our visitors, welcome to Albuquerque. I encourage all of the comic fans to visit and support our local comic book shops: Age of Comics, Comic Warehouse, Astro Zombies in Nob Hill, Red Planet Books and Comics, Twins Sons Comics and Games. And as the Mayor said, we are excited to be the host city, and we welcome all of you to the great state of New Mexico. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you guys for coming out. My name is Matthew Trujillo. I'm the founder, co-owner of New Mexico Comic Expo. So I just kind of want to give a quick rundown of what I envision for this show. Right now, what it is basically a hub for all those in New Mexico to come and be a part of something bigger than what we've had before. I wanted to create something new and exciting, and I think we've done that with the team I've been able to put together, and I'm very proud of what we've done. The crowd outside is very excited, and we're a little shocked by the size of the banners that we have in there, which is kind of nice. But like I said before, it's something that I've been wanting to focus on, is bringing in guests like Sean and Jason Momoa and all these other guys that have never been here before, and allow New Mexicans to come out and meet these guys. We're drawing a lot of attention from across the country, from Minnesota, Michigan, New York. I've gotten personal phone calls from different people asking questions about the show. So I know these people are flying in, and that makes me very excited that we were able to get on their radar. But with that, I would like to introduce Sean Gunn from Avengers Endgame and Guardians of the Galaxy. He'll say a couple words.
That's excellent. That was an excellent greeting for, I don't know about A-list, but I'm working on it. I'm very happy to be here. This is really cool. Being able to go around the country and overseas sometimes to these various Comic-Cons and expos and things like that is really one of my favorite parts of my job. I really think that it's the responsibility of a lot of people who are storytellers and entertainers to interface with their fans and the people that they're telling stories for, and see what they think, and give them an opportunity to ask questions and meet some people face to face. And I get to travel around and visit great cities that I don't know. I've passed through Albuquerque before, but I've never spent any quality time here. So I'm gonna check out the city while I'm here, and I'm very grateful for that. But any questions anybody has, I'm welcome. I'm happy to answer. That's right. You mean between TV and movies? Yeah, I'm known a lot for Gilmore Girls as well. It's really interesting to come from a world of television, but also from something like Stars Hollow, the fictional city on Gilmore Girls, which is a very sort of small, peaceful town, and then go to the MCU and be in outer space and this kind of space pirate. That's one of the little joys of my job. I tended to, as far as TV and movies go, in some ways I look at what's the same more than what's different. I like to chase great scripts and great words, and I've been fortunate to really be able to work with some great writers, especially between Amy Sherman Palladino and her husband Dan on the Gilmore Girls, and then also my brother James, and obviously, and Marcus McFeely on the Avengers movies. So really, I try not to think too much about what's different between TV and films, and just focus on being a good storyteller, and I look for good scripts. I mean, I chase the words. That's the most important thing to me. Anyone else? I mean, if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer, but otherwise, I just want to say thanks for having me here. This is really great. I think it's cool that this is the inaugural event. I can tell that there's a lot of good things in store for this convention, so thanks for bringing me up.
So if you haven't guessed, I need to get Matt out of here because he's running a convention and all. He is available for questions very quickly. He's got to get back out on the floor, but I wanted to thank our guests for coming out. You're also available for questions afterwards? Wonderful. So please, if you can sit down, talk to him for a while, because this is a big event and we want it to get bigger as time goes and for people to know what New Mexico has to offer. So once again, thank you for coming out, and enjoy the show.